Whoa ho ho! This is a snazzy little tool, man. I just can't get over how incredibly light it is. All right, so here's what I found. This has its downfalls, his its pitfalls, I should say, and its advantages, pros and cons. Now, what's the pro? It's just like any other one-pass tool. It is extremely fast on maintenance work. This tool is pretty much geared to that, with the exception of being able to agitate in certain areas, but you're limited with that, depending on the severity of the soiledness, if that makes sense, what I just said. This tool is limited when it comes to agitation process of heavily soiled debris on the glass, given the severity, because the design of this tool in general. But that wasn't the primary focus, I'm sure, but you could do what the other one-pass tools could do, but the reason it doesn't allow you to do more agitation in those areas is because the design of the way the pad is. This is not an issue, I assure you. It's far from that. So you want to really focus on the main agenda of why you would even use a tool like this. For one thing, it would eliminate scratches on those delicate tempered glass, which most people aren't that careless. For you to justify using it for that alone, that's for you to decide. I'm only just stating out the obvious. All right. So not only do you eliminate the potential possibility of damaging delicate glass such as E-glass, tempered glass, plexiglass, bulletproof glass, tint. I mean, we can go down the list if you like, but I'm not going to do that. Next, you see the pad is close to the end. Now, I'm sure with some modifications, you can eliminate that, but then there's one issue that you will have if you do that. It will not get up to the corner. You see how Willie's lined this up directly to the end of the channel. Now, let me tell you why this is a con. All right? With this particular tool, it is like a power pivot and a precision glide and a one pass like combi and all those other things. But you really don't want to use it like how you would use them. Here's the reason why. If your solution is geared to making the windows cleaner longer, like GG4, Sorbo soap, and a few others, the froth and the consistency of your solution is down dramatically. So you have like a loose formula, a loose solution. That won't work well with this. I'll tell you why. Because when you turn, because that water is loose, the little bit of water that's all the way up on the pad towards the end will leave an arc of water because the pad is still saturated at the end. You would have to change your technique up, which is not a big deal, I assure you. But with this particular pad, you want to have a little bubbles because it'll allow you to make those intricate moves without the water on the end creeping back up onto the glass, if that makes sense. If you don't understand, that's fine, that's okay. It's not something that you won't be able to pick up with. Once you start using the tool, you will understand. The next thing is, this tool is very, very fast. On the front side of these windows, I hadn't did the porch area in over a month, and I did it with 2 strokes. Some of the windows I had to and I do mean lightly, agitate the window to get this clean. I just kept it simple. I didn't get all fancy, and I just did straight pulls. Next, Because your solution is loose on certain framework, yes, you will have to detail. All my channels is dog-eared, but you cannot dog-ear this type of channel. I may experiment with that because I think I got a way to get it done. Who else dog-ear a plastic channel? How could you dog-ear a plastic channel? Well, sit back, watch, and learn. Maybe I'll do this in the near future, but I don't want to do it on this one. I want to get another one and do it to that one. That'll be my guinea pig. All right, so back to the ends. You will have to detail certain framework. For most of you, I assure you, that's not a problem either. Because y'all used to ragging the heck out of corners anyways, especially if you're not using Mormon. All right, so, and if your squeegee is a dog ear, obviously it wouldn't be a problem if it was dog ear, but I'm meticulous. So I've changed my technique up to be able to work along with dog earing. When you don't dog ear your channels, you'll have to squeegee a certain way. Some of you can still do the same, but I assure you, I guarantee you, in order to get detail-free results, you will have to change your technique up with a non-dog ear channel. Either that, or you'll be ragging the framework to get rid of the water, the bead of water down to the edge of the window. Next, I want to say that this pad doesn't hold a lot of water, right? But it doesn't matter, because if you're just using it as a one pass, you can clean about 15 or 20 windows with this before you need a dip, because the glide is just that serious. It's nasty. This thing glides like butter. It's so light and it glides like butter. I actually almost had to retrain myself with Wagtail, as strange as it may seem, because this tool may look the same, but I assure you it is not the same when you're squeegeeing. You will have to learn how to use this squeegee because it's not dog-eared for one, and secondly, it is light. So you don't need as much pressure as you think you need compared to the other model Wagtails. Yes, you will have to pay a little bit more attention to your corners with this tool because it's so light. There's a trick to it. There's a trick to it. But it's a trick that is easy to be learned once you get used to the tool in general. Do I recommend this tool? Absolutely so. Why? Because there's no other tool on the face of this earth like this tool. This tool is nothing to play with. It is super duper light. It is super duper light. And I like it, man. I like it a lot. Now for me, this won't work on every job. You know why? Because this is just the move quick squeegee. Alright? Jobs where I come into place, it looks predominantly clean with the exception of a few soiled areas. Nothing that this won't be able to handle. And you could just blow through that whole inside. You see, if you're worried about the corners, I'm going to tell you a little trick. You don't want to wet the whole window with a tool like this. If you got some soiled areas, you just agitate back and forth, and then you just go right into squeegee as if you wet the whole window. This will eliminate the need for detailing after you get done all around the edges. If you do it right, it took me like 7 windows to figure this out. But if you do it right, you will not get stuck detailing the corners. Don't take my word for it. Get the tool and learn for yourself. Try it. Experiment with it. Use it in different techniques and ways to get the best results for yourself. But this is Masters at Wagtail. And for me, I'm going to... See, that's the beauty about Wagtail. You can customize their tools because they're one of the easiest tools in the window cleaning industry to mod to your workflow. My workflow, it wouldn't work because I need an unlimited water source. In order for you to unlock the full potential of this tool, if you add a water source to it, this will be a beast of a tool. A beast of a tool. Nasty, man. Nasty. You better get that E Squeegee, man. I got some tent coming up next week, and we'll see how this thing does on tent. I'm sure it'll be fine, because I told you one pass tools on anything that has to do with tinted windows, because it will give you resistance, and we are limited to the amount of solutions that we can use on this tool. You can use plain water. The problem with having a loose solution such as plain water or alcohol, because some people would use alcohol, but if it's cheap tint, alcohol will start to make that tint lift up starting from the corners. I've showed you that on my other job that has tint. I showed you what using alcohol to clean the tint will do, especially cheap tint. But this is Masters at Wagtail, and stay tuned. I'm going to add a water source to this, and this will really unlock the features of this tool. What I was doing is just spraying the pad down, but that's it. Mac-a-frackin'.